Women are powerful and have accomplished great things. Yet, sometimes we suffer from self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs. We often believe that we are not good enough. These negative beliefs stop us from achieving our goals. Welcome to Sprinting to Success, a podcast dedicated to women who have experienced struggles, yet found ways to step into their power, their greatness, and learn to embrace challenges. These women will share their stories and give you insights to help you on your path so you can follow your dreams. And now, here's your host, Esmie Lawrence.
My name is Esmie Lawrence, and welcome to Sprinting to Success podcast. My guests today, mentors, committed female entrepreneurs who are established in the marketplace, have a message that makes an impact, and are marketing their business online, but are struggling to attract a flow of premium clients. She coaches them to confidently step into their visibility and reach a wider audience. She gives them flexibility, freedom, and income in a way that is easy, fun, and feminine. Welcome to Sprinting to Success podcast, Wendy Kier.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So tell me about your childhood, how you grew up.
Yeah, okay. So going back a wee while, I went into care when I was about 1.5, 2. My parents were both alcoholics, and I stayed in care until I was about 14.5.
Oh.
During that time, I think I must have had about 30 different foster placements, probably 30 plus.
Wow.
So I was in and out of the care system, adopted when I was 14.5. That broke down, and then 15.5, you get shoved out into the big wide world. So that was pretty much my childhood. Quite traumatic, very chaotic, and a long time ago. I'm thankful.
Right. So how did you manage those struggles as a 15-year-old?
Well, you just survive. At that age, when you go out into the big wide world, you just survive day to day, second to second, hour to hour. It's definitely personally, traumatically had, I think, more of an effect on me in my older years than it has my younger years, because you don't know what you don't know. And because you're in survival mode, you are pretty much living day to day, second to second. So you just cope with what's around you at the time. Right.
And so as an adult, did you go back and just relive your childhood and kind of you made peace with it?
Making peace with it, I think as you get older, it just fades further away into the background. Interestingly enough, when you say about making peace, I think what happens is when you have a lot of unanswered questions, you will put yourself back into situations whereby you hope psychologically, somehow, subconsciously, that it's going to help you come to terms or help you understand what's going on. So I spent 20 years working with young people at risk in central London, working with people who had very similar backgrounds to me.
Right.
Because it felt familiar, it felt safe, it felt like my family, even though it wasn't. When you spend 14.5 years or however long it was in institutional care, you become institutionalized. So you surround yourself with what is familiar.
Right. So you found a way to give back to children just like you.
Yeah. I don't think I saw it as giving back, but yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. So you're from England. Now, what are you doing living in Thailand, and why are you there?
So I became location independent about 14, 15 months ago. I run my business online. I have clients all over the world. So we just thought, actually, why don't we travel? And I can work at the same time. Steve's been able to retire early at 48, I think. 47? We're always having this discussion. Is he 47 or 48?
Right. As you get older, as you get older, you forget your age, right?
I know mine, 50.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have the freedom basically to move around because all of my
Right.
clients are online.
Right.
So I can go anywhere in the world that I want.
What a privilege. And so why did you choose Thailand?
We've been to Thailand quite a few times. We love Thailand. We love the Thai people. We love the food. It is an absolutely tropical, stunning location.
Right.
Very luxurious, very green, natural. We've been to quite a few other countries over the last year, but this is probably our favorite, if I'm honest.
Oh, nice, nice. So tell us about your relationship with money, and because you said it drove you to depression. What happened?
Yeah. Well, it took me a long time to realize that my upbringing had such an impact on my relationship with money, because I was always coming from a place of lack, always struggling, always
Right.
just surviving day to day, hand to mouth. That, when I started my business, played out in the business as well. So the business struggled for quite some time because I had a very limiting money mindset. I had a really negative relationship with money. I believed it when people said to me that they couldn't afford it. So I would play into this whole illusion of people don't have money, people can't afford it, people will never invest to work with me. So I made my prices cheaper and cheaper to accommodate other people who would then never buy it anyway.
Right.
So it really pushed me into, severe anxiety, moved me into depression until I came back out the other side. And then I started to study money. I started to really get a grip on this negativity it is that I'd associated with money.
Okay, so tell me exactly how you broke free of that.
So I worked with a mindset coach around limiting beliefs. I've read books, I've done courses. So it's just study, basically. It's, even though I've had a very difficult time, I've always invested in my personal development, always, without fail. I've never left it up to an employer. I have always invested. That's one thing that's consistent throughout my life. So just training. I do VIP days with my clients and help them break free and crush their money stories so they can live an abundant life. So I've really immersed myself into really understanding about my relationship with money and how it really works.
Right. And how does it work?
Well, money is, if you think of money like a child, it's innocent. But what happens is we have a tendency, because of our past experiences, to dump all of our beliefs around money, all of the negativity.
Right.
We see them together as two things. But actually, your beliefs are your beliefs. Money is like a child. It's innocent. It's got multiple personalities. It is clean. But your baggage, you project onto the money, which it's your stuff that you're projecting onto it. Money in its purest form wants to be sent, saved, by gifts. It wants to flow. It has a beautiful energy about it. But what we do is we put all of our baggage onto it. Oh, people can't afford it. It's rubbish. It's just absolute rubbish.
So whatever you believe about money, that's exactly how it's going to show up.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what you're going to get back.
Right. Interesting. And so you are an author, and I was impressed when I saw this. You have over 2,304 students worldwide in 95 countries. So how
yes,
did so
that more than that now?
Oh wow, that's amazing. Now why did you decide to become an instructor?
Do you mean in terms of courses? What do you mean?
Yes, in terms of, you're on Udemy as an instructor. And so why did you decide to do that?
To be honest, that was because of my stinky money mindset, to be fair. because Udemy sell courses and programs cheaply. So it played into my money beliefs. I would never do it now. I had my time again and I knew what I know about money now. I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't go and, sorry Udemy, but I wouldn't do it because what I've found is that people are willing to invest much higher amounts of money rather than small amounts of money. And the thing is with small amounts of money is it'll kill you because you have to work so hard to get the volume of people into a program.
That's right.
So
yes.
Yeah. So for me, I just wanted to sell my program and I thought I could sell it cheaply to as many people as possible. That was my thinking behind it. But now I am very anti, if I'm honest, course creation because it's a hard sell. It burns people out. People don't get the results. They don't do the work. You can't upsell into something else. So all of this talk around creating courses is only going to work if you are an established business.
Right.
It's only going to work if you are established, if you have a network. Because otherwise, you're going to be poor.
Right.
You're going to stay poor.
We don't want to stay poor.
No.
Okay. So why do women struggle with charging a premium price in business?
I think a lot of it is to do with how so a lot of women are connectors, nurturers, they like to give. And because of that nature of giving, when it comes sometimes to talking about money, it feels unnatural. It feels uncomfortable. So it's really just about moving into that space, especially in business, because you have to be able to talk about money openly in business. Otherwise, you've got no business.
Right.
It's about re-establishing some boundaries around new beliefs around money and how you can bring money into the business. I think it comes from, helping, connecting, nurturing, basically sacrificing, in a lot of cases, your own wealth and abundance to help other people, to put other people first.
Right.
And you can't do that in business. You can't go around rescuing everybody. It's because you'll lose, because you'll be just giving your whole self and not actually what in business it's a relationship. It has to be two people. It's a relationship between the two of you. It's not one other party just taking and taking.
Right.
So it is about boundaries. It's about stepping back, creating boundaries, understanding pricing, really moving into a space of appreciation of money rather than from a place of giving all the time.
So how do you?
It's learned.
It's learned.
You learn it. Yeah, you have to, So when I work with my clients, I do a VIP day with them, and we look at their money personality to see how money is really playing out in terms of their personality. And then we look at rebalancing that. What can we do to rebalance that using, different tools, different methodology, so they have basically a new money personality by the time I've stopped on that VIP day.
So what do you mean by a money? What do you mean by a money personality?
So we have a money personality basically. There are 8 different characteristics. I can't remember them off by hand, but my money personality is an accumulator, which means I'm the banker. I'm really good with money. My second one is the alchemist, which is about creating opportunities to bring in wealth. And my third one is a celebrity. Of course.
What do you mean by that? Celebrity. What does that mean?
So celebrity means that I like to stand out. I like to be visible, which is important in business. You need to stand out. You need to be visible. Right. Now, that's the positives. There are negatives. There's some positives and negatives to all of these. What generally tends to happen is when you go into a financial crisis of some time, something that's playing out, you will heavily sit in your predominant archetype, its negative side. So the banker, while she's very good at managing money, bringing money in, looking after money, accumulating money, on the flip side of that, she doesn't like to let it go.
Right. Yes.
So she doesn't like to spend big. It makes her very anxious. She likes to hoard it, but she doesn't like to spend big amounts of money. It freaks her out. So while she's good at bringing it in, she doesn't like to let it out. So if you're not careful, you can play into the negative side of your predominant money personality. What you need to do is actually balance out all three, so they're all in partnership with one another.
And
most of my clients, yeah, go on, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, most of my clients, or actually all of my clients, are either connectors and nurturers. So those two are predominantly within their money personality. And those two will have a tendency to put everybody else first before themselves. So depending on what their third personality is, it's about looking at that and acknowledging that and thinking about, okay, what is it that you now need to do to play to your strengths?
Right.
So, when we talk about, this is how it becomes very evident to me in terms of where women are at within their businesses and why they're not bringing in the amount of money is that they want to be bringing in, is because they firstly hold, negative beliefs around money, like we all do. We all have it because we've been conditioned to think that way.
Right.
And then how they can rebalance that.
Right. So then how do they rebalance that? Because if you come in with a negative mindset about money, and you as a coach, like how do you teach them to rebalance that? And how long does it actually take to do that?
Well, I do a VIP day. So we get together, we spend 2 half days together. And then we go through their money personality. And then we go into an in-depth conversation with the tools that I use to take them through a journey to change it.
Right.
So depending on who they are, I'll adapt it to that personality.
Right.
In terms of who that person is, for them to get the best results.
Right. And how
they can get a shift, basically.
And how much time do they need to spend with you to do that?
Well, it's a VIP day. I just split it down into 2, so it's 5 hours.
Okay. All right.
I work with somebody through that process. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And after 5 hours, they can see where their strengths and their weaknesses are, and then they can go ahead and start making money, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just about creating a different relationship with money and really understanding that it's just an illusion. Your beliefs will create your reality. If you change your beliefs, you then start to attract in. It's all a bit woo-woo, I know, but you will then find the clients who are willing to invest and pay that amount of money. But here's the thing, is that a lot of women will just focus in on the lower priced offers within a business. You can't run a business that way. It has to come from a premium, and then you do the lower priced offers. You can't do it the other way around. Right. You have to establish yourself as an expert and an authority first. Once you've built your credibility, you've got an audience, then you can do the lower price stuff. You'll never survive doing lower price stuff first.
Right. So
not unless you're a big business.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. A big business can do anything.
Yeah, it's fine. They've got the team, they've got the staff, they've got the infrastructure, they've got the volume. We can't do that as independent experts.
Right. Because a lot of businesswomen online are solopreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wendy, take me back to when you were 20, 30 years old. What were you like? What as a woman, like did you have a lot of confidence? Did you know what you wanted to do back then?
I had no confidence. I had a real attitude. I had a real chip on my shoulder. I wouldn't speak to people. I found it very hard to communicate. I was very defensive. I was like, "Oh, get over there. Don't even talk to me."
Right.
That was me when I was 20, a handful.
Right. Right. And so how did you make the transition, like that transformation from back then to becoming the person you are now? Confident, kind, caring.
I think a lot of it is to do with my partner. You know, we met 20 years ago, so when I was about 30. And I think the stability of being with him and going through a lot of acting out and living a lot of trauma with him, and also, you know, having mental health input, psychiatrists, the whole lot, basically. You name it, I've had it.
Right.
All of that.
Right. So you had to go get some help from some
I had a lot of help.
Professionals.
I had a lot of help, yeah. I've had some real dark moments for sure. But it's all just got something's triggered something, and my brain's literally just switched off.
Right. And so did you have to go back like deep into those dark areas to, you know, to become free?
Sometimes I have, but what I found is that actually all that does is just trigger acting out. Mm-hmm. So I'll start to, if I go too far back, I'll start to act out in some way.
Right.
So now I deal with what's in front of me, not what's behind me.
Ah, okay.
So a lot of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Right.
You know, changing the way you're thinking, reprogramming your thoughts. That type of stuff I do a lot of. Journaling, I do a lot of. Meditation, I do a lot of. But I've had the lot.
Right. So
apart from I haven't been sectioned. That's the only thing that hasn't happened.
Okay. So you do a lot of journaling. Do you journal every day?
I try and journal every day.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's interesting. I find that when I'm like getting a bit stressed out and I fall back into my old self, you know, coming from that place of fear and lack, I stop journaling. Right. Then I'm like, a month later, I'm like, why do I feel like rubbish? I'm going to start journaling again.
So then how do you decrease stress in your life?
Decrease stress?
Yes.
Meditate. Journal.
Right.
Meditation, I think, is a massive relief for me. I swear it makes you more intelligent. I was thinking this morning.
Really?
I feel much more intelligent today. I'm sure it's the meditation.
So how long do you meditate for?
Well, it can go from 10 minutes to 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
You know, for the last 3 days or so, I did about 4 hours the other day. I did 3 hours. I did a couple of hours yesterday. It will really depend. It just depends on my mood.
Right.
There's no sort of like, I'm doing 10 minutes a day, every day.
So do you go in a certain spot and just sit there, or you're busy doing life and meditating that way? Like, how do you?
I'm in the hammock.
Okay. Oh, a hammock. That is great. I can just picture you now.
I'm in the hammock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Let me, right, hang on. I'm going to move a second. Let me show you, actually, because this looks a bit boring. Because I've set this up because it's good for the camera.
Okay.
But let me show you where I am. Oh gosh, I'm only standing in my pants. Hang on a minute.
Okay. I don't see a drop of snow there. Oh.
My hammock is where the cat is.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice fan. It looks all green. Wow. That's beautiful.
Right, I've got to come back in because it's so hot.
I was saying to you, I don't see a drop of snow.
No, there's no snow. It is absolutely baking here in Thailand.
Right. So hopefully you have air conditioning in the house.
We do. That's why I've come back. I'm like,
oh, that is awesome. So Wendy, go back to the younger Wendy who felt afraid. Yep. What words of wisdom would you give yourself so you can believe in yourself?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think when you deal with that amount of trauma, it's a bit I don't know what that would be, because you're just in complete survival. I don't know what those words of wisdom would be.
Yeah.
I can't even connect to it. I'm just like, not going there.
Right. So so then is there a time in your life that you could go back and say, do this, and this will make you feel better, or, whatever advice would you give yourself, maybe when you're 20, 30, 40?
I can only relate to it now in this present day. I do a lot of inner child work. I don't know if you've heard of inner child work.
No. What is that?
Right. So inner child work is a bit woo-woo.
Okay.
But it's used in dealing with trauma. So basically, in my mind, I go backwards into the past and I can connect with the younger version of myself. So I can connect with myself as a child.
Right.
And then what I do is I speak to myself as who I am now, as the adult I am in this day. So I will speak to the child in my present state.
Right.
But also what I do is I take it up another level from that, is I then step into the highest version of myself. This is the woman that's got no baggage, no limiting beliefs, no nothing. She's in her purest form.
Right.
So I'll then use her to talk to the next two versions of myself. So I can step back into and be more aligned with her. It's boo-boo, but it works really well.
Right. And
I use her to mother the other two, basically.
Okay.
Because she's ultimately who I'm constantly aspiring to be. Not who I am now, but, that better version of myself.
Right. So what is it, Wendy? What are you struggling with now?
I think mindset is an ongoing daily for me, making sure that I don't slip back into lack and fear, which is actually quite easy to do at the moment because the UK is in political turmoil. There's not a lot of negativity. A lot of people have frozen business. They're not doing business. It's all a bit unpredictable. So it's quite easy with all of that going on just to slip into negative mode.
Right.
It's really bad. I'm not going to make any sales. Oh my God, no one's buying.
Right.
So it's very easy to slip into that. But if I think that, I'm going to create that. So I have to step back from that and think, actually, no, I'm not playing that game. That's those people's reality. It's not mine. It's not how I'm choosing to operate.
Right.
So definitely. I think mindset is it's a work in process.
It's definitely, mindset is definitely a daily, because I find that I have to always keep that positivity in front of in front and write it down and look at it daily, because it's easy to slip into, oh, this is not going right, oh, this is like always something that's negative. So I have to keep reminding myself that no, this is where you are now and things are great and it's just going to get better. And just have that abundance attitude, because if you have a negative mindset, it's gonna keep you back. It's gonna prevent you from becoming yourself, your greater self.
Yeah, I mean, you must have some great tools in your toolkit from the sports that you did, from how you were trained.
Right, I do, and you know what? One of the key things for me is action. When you just do, just get up and do it. Because it's easy to think, oh, woe is me, or this is not going right. And instead of saying, okay, what's going right? And write it down and say, this is what I'm going to do. And then go for it. And don't expect perfection. Because perfection, it's a killer and it doesn't exist.
I don't do it.
Forget it. Just do it. And even if it's imperfect, go ahead and do it anyways. Because, it's a step forward. And to me, it's a success, right? But you just, of course, it's really good. You have to have coaches. And I think that's a key thing, because as an athlete, I had coaches, and that because sometimes when I was feeling down, they kind of got me back up and got me back on track, So that's what I think people need to do. But the mindset is key, having a positive mindset, and don't let your negativity bring you down. Always keep
I think people think it's complicated.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not. You just need to wake up.
That's right.
It's almost like you need to be conscious, because we're running on the subconscious most of the time. And when fear and lack take over, it's just, I think it's just about operating consciously. And as you said, coaches, what they do is they go, hang on a minute.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
That's
and just
not true.
Right. And I say step into your fear, because on the other side of your fear are all your successes, right? You just have to take the leap and just do it. and know that you're going to land on your feet.
What would you say then? Because you asked me that question about what would you say to your younger self, and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. What would you say?
Oh, I would say, Esmie, everything's going to be fine, because Esmie, you're the person that you're afraid of every little thing. You feel stupid, you feel ugly, and I would say, Esmie, be positive. Everything's going to work out fine. Nice. Just for you, and, because, I was just a kid, I was always afraid of so many things. And even though I am an Olympian, I was confident in certain areas, but lack confidence in other areas. And just say it's going to be fine. And just, even though you're afraid, do it. Because I've missed out on lots of opportunities because I was afraid. I was afraid to try. And I would say, oh, I can't do it, and step back. And every time I felt that, I would just, go back into fear, and I would hide behind fear. And fear is good. It builds a brick wall that you can hide behind. But it's so I said, Esmie, kick down that brick wall and go through it, and go for your successes. That's what I would say to my younger self.
I like that. I have worked with clients in the past, and sometimes I just don't know what to do. I do everything I can to help them and try and support them, and to help them break free of it with what I know, with the tools that I know, to break free and to go through it. But some people just never break free. They never actually just do it.
Right.
They're so trapped in their head that it's like, they're paralyzed by the fear.
Right. Definitely. And action is key. You just have to do it, and, I'm just, it just take one step at a time, one step, and keep moving forward, and then realize that when you look back and thinking, hey, I've taken 10 steps. So in a progression, right? Just keep going, slow and steady, right? And that's my philosophy, right?
Slow and steady. I like that.
Slow and steady. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot. I'm getting tongue tied here, but slow and steady.
Yeah, slow and steady. That's
steady.
Good. That's good. I like slow and steady.
Right. So Wendy, what would you like to say to our audience?
I think it's what's come out of this for me in terms of this conversation is it's about being conscious. It's about being fully responsible for the decisions you're making, rather than just going on autopilot. Because you can, the thing is, you have the power to change things, but you have to wake up a little bit to realize that actually you can change things, that things can be very different for you. Statistically, given my background, I should be in prison, statistically.
Wow.
Which is sad, shocking.
Yes.
So it just shows that if you wake up, you take responsibility for what's going on, and get some help, you can make incredible changes in your life that you never thought were possible. You can break free of what's going on, whatever that is.
Right. That
business
is awesome.
Or life.
Perfect. And that's a great way to end, Wendy. So Wendy, thank you so much for our awesome conversation today.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Sprinting to Success with your host, Esmie Lawrence. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review this show on iTunes. For more information about Esmie and to hear other episodes of the show, go to esmielawrence.com. The information in this podcast is not intended as a substitute for professional or medical treatment or advice. Always seek advice from your healthcare provider.